Good morning, dear children. My name is Toshmi and I'll be teaching English for you from today onwards. So I know Needu Miss have taken 2 chapters for you. Now we'll deal with the 3rd chapter. And by the way, how are you all? I hope you are all fine. Stay at your home, never go out, stay safe. Complete your notes, okay? And study well. So we are going to the 3rd chapter. The name of the chapter is The Brave Little Kite. What do you mean by brave? Who is brave? A courageous person is called a brave person. So B-R-A-V-E, brave means courage. Brave, courage. Okay. The brave little kite. So here the poem is about a little kite, a kite. So the kite is very brave. It is very courageous. So the poem is about a little kite who is very courageous. Do you love kite flying? You like to fly kite up in the sky? Flying kite? You like it, right? Very interesting, right? So let's move on to the poem. Listen to me when I read. Take page number 19, 19, page number 19 in your textbook. The Brave Little Kite. I'll read first 3 stanzas for you. Today we will deal with the first 3 stanzas and the rest will be taken in the next class. Okay? Clear? Okay. Listen to me. I can never do it, the little kite said, as he looked at the others high over his head. I know I would fall if I tried to fly. Try, said the big kite. Only try, or I fear you will never learn at all. But the little kite said, I am afraid I will fall. The big kite nodded. Ah well, goodbye. I am off. And he rose towards a tranquil sky. Then the little kite's paper stirred at the sight, and trembling, he shook himself free for flight. So, listen. I can never do it, the little kite said. So, the little kite is speaking to someone. The little kite is saying that I can never do it. I cannot do it. I am not able to do it. What is the kite meaning here? That we don't know, right? So, we can read the other lines. As he looked at the others high over his head, I know I would fall if I tried to fly. So, the little kite is speaking about flying. The little kite, the small kite is afraid of flying. It thinks that it will fall down. If it fly, it will fall down. It is afraid. So, the kite is very afraid to fly. It thinks that if it flies high, it will fall down. I can never do it, the little kite said. So the kite is saying that I can never do it. I cannot do it. I am not able to do that. I cannot fly. As he looked at the others high over his head. So he is looking. Other kites are all flying over his head. All other kites are flying. It is all up above in the sky. So the kite, the little kite, the small kite is afraid. It sees other kites flying above, but it is afraid to fly because it thinks that if it flies, it will fall. The kite is thinking that if I try to fly, I will fall. So it is speaking to someone, some other kite, that I am afraid to fly. I cannot do it. I am not able to fly. Try, said the big kite. So the big kite is asking the little kite to try to fly. So the big kite is saying, fly, you try. Only try, or I fear you will never learn at all. What is the big kite saying? Only try, or I am afraid that you will never learn at all. So you all walk, right? And by birth, can you walk? No. You all started walking by the age of 1, right? And when you started walking, you all fell down. We know small children, when they start walking, they will fall down, right? But what will the mothers say to them? Stand up and walk again, right? So if it falls only, it will learn to walk. If the baby falls only, it will learn to walk. So when it learns to walk, it will get used to it. The baby will get used to it. It will start walking. Like that, the little kite also has to try. It has to fly. Then only it can fly high and high. So a big kite is speaking to the little kite that the big kite is advising the little kite that you should try or you will never learn to fly. But the little kite said, I am afraid I'll fall. So the little kite is feeling afraid. It is fear. It is afraid that it will fly. So the small kite, it is very little kite, a small kite. It is a kid. So the kite is afraid that I will fall if I try to fly. So the big kite nodded. The big kite nodded, shook his head. It shook his head. Ah well, goodbye, I am off. So the big kite said, if you are not trying to fly, you stay there, you remain there. I am going to fly. I am off. Ah well, goodbye. So saying goodbye to the little kite, the big kite started flying. The big kite went up to the sky. And he rose towards a tranquil sky. So the big kite saying this to the little kite. The big kite asked the little kite to fly. But the little kite said, I am afraid. So hearing this, the big kite said, okay, you remain there. I am going. Goodbye, tata. I am going to fly. And the big kite rose towards a tranquil sky. How is the sky? The sky is tranquil. Tranquil means calm and still. Very quiet. Very beautiful, quiet sky. Very calm sky. There is no disturbances in the sky. The sky is at peace. It is calm and still. Very quiet. Very calm and quiet place is sky. So the blue sky, the light blue, the calm and quiet sky. To that sky, our big kite started flying. The big kite fly towards the tranquil sky. It went above to the heights. Then the little kite's paper stirred at the side and trembling, he shook himself free for flight. So the little kite was afraid. It stirred at the side. What do you mean by stir? It moved around. The little kite moved around. Why the little kite moved around? It was seeing the big kite. It was watching the big kite flying above his head. The small kite is looking at the big kite that is flying above the head. So the little kite's paper stirred at the side. So little kite just moved, a slightly movement, a small movement. It moved slightly. Why it moved slightly? Because the big kite is up in the sky. It was watching the small kite, the kid kite. The kid was watching the big kite flying. And trembling, he shook himself free for flight. So seeing the big kite flying, the little kite started flying. It shook himself free for flight. So it started flying. It started flying in a small way. It was trembling. What do you mean by tremble? Tremble means shake. Shaking means it is because it is feared. It is very feared, very afraid. So it is very nervous. The kite, the small kite is very nervous. It is very nervous to fly. But then the big kite is up in the sky. This little kite is alone there. So it started flying. It started flying to the big kite. So our little kite was afraid to fly. It was afraid that if it started flying, it will fall down. That was the fear in the mind of the little kite. But the big kite asked it to fly, because if only you try, you will learn, or else you will not learn. So the big kite asked the little kite to fly, and the big kite saying goodbye, it started flying above. It started flying up in the sky. So seeing this, the little kite, the small kite, started flying. It was very shaking. It was trembling with nervousness. It was afraid, but then it started flying. Is that clear for you? So I'll read once again the 3 stanzas. I can never do it, the little kite said, as he looked at the others high over his head. I know I would fall if I tried to fly. Try, said the big kite. Only try, or I fear you will never learn at all. But the little kite said, I am afraid I will fall. The big kite nodded. Ah, well, goodbye. I am off. And he rose towards the tranquil sky. Then the little kite's papers stirred at the sight, and trembling, he shook himself free for flight. Okay, is that clear for you? So, we'll look at what happened to the kite after flying. That we will discuss in the next class. So, I hope this is clear for you. If you have any doubts regarding this chapter, you can message me. You can message to my WhatsApp number. Okay. Please do ask your doubts, and if you have any doubts, do ask me. I will send the notes through WhatsApp. You have to write it and send back to me. Okay. Thank you.